I welcome you here. Just a quick piece of housekeeping to let everyone know. The restrooms are at the rear of the meeting room here through the door to the left. So should you need to go out there, we have no problem. I want to welcome you all here today on behalf of myself, the State Office of Historic Preservation, and on behalf of the Governor's Office and the Department of Parks and Recreation. We're here today to recognize some preservation achievements throughout the state that have taken place in this past year. And this is always an event that we truly look forward to. We all too often find ourselves bemoaning this demolition or this poor project or something that has gone wrong. So it's great to gather and have so many people here to celebrate some really serious and important achievements in preservation. This is the 28th year that the Governor's Office has recognized preservation through this event. And we look forward to it, as I said, as one of our premier events of the year. I'm very pleased to have here today the State Parks and Recreation Director, Major General Anthony Jackson. Last year we were both here, and I think we had both arrived at about a week of each other, and we're a little like deer in the headlights. So I can say this year we have a much clearer idea, hopefully, of what we're doing here, and have our arms around some of the issues of preservation in California. The Department of Parks and Recreation is the parent agency for the OHP. And the General is here today not only representing the California State Park System, which has hundreds of historic buildings under its jurisdiction, cultural landscapes and archaeological sites, not to mention our office under his jurisdiction, but also to represent the Governor and the administration in the celebration. I'm especially grateful to the Director for agreeing to do this for the second year in a row. His making time for this in his busy schedule speaks very much to the appreciation and the understanding of the importance of preservation that he has, and that I have been witness to since I've been here on the executive staff of the department. The General has repeatedly shown support for the office and for the role that we have in the department. The support that he has given us has meant a great deal to the office and as well as to me personally as the shipper. So with no further ado, I would like to introduce and welcome to the podium General Jackson.
Carol is way too kind. Let me say that, both on behalf of the Governor and myself, that it's a real pleasure for me to be here at this award ceremony and at least be a part of thanking you all for what you do, your interest in historical preservation, and the work that you do to make this happen. One of the things that, when I was I guess I would say a young man now, and on my way to college, I had to pick a major. And I wanted a major that really piqued my interest. And when my family moved to the Bay Area in 1963, I was surrounded by a diversity of cultures that I had never been surrounded by. And so I decided that history would be my major. And as I studied the history of Africa, of Latin America, and of Asia, because I was now studying the history not only of my own roots, but I was studying the history of others. And I really got so involved in the history of the tremendous Asian population that was represented in Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area, and even at the university I went to, San Jose State, I decided to get my master's degree in Chinese and Japanese history. And I realized that in connecting with other cultures, I became a better person. And although I was a Marine for 36 years, 7 months, 11 days, as I traveled the world, I found that cultural reach back was very important to how I communicated with people. And my understanding, my just going to some place and saying Buenos Dias, or saying Guten Tag, or saying bonjour, or just reaching out culturally was so vital to improving relationships with people. Oh yeah, I even got Ohio gozaimasu. Okay, and it just that sort of reach out. Now, preservation of culture is critical, I think, to any society, because we build our very values on our culture. And we build the character of our children on that. And now we have a new interest in things like genealogy. But also, we're interested in the places and the things that our ancestors did. And we don't oftentimes think of ourselves as having ancestors who create all of this that's around us. I mean, how did we get from horse-drawn carriages in the 1850s to this age where electric cars are zipping down the road at, well, I'll only say the legal speed, but 65 miles an hour. And anybody who goes that fast in a slow lane in California is suicidal, I know. But, so, as you preserve buildings, as you preserve statues, as you make paintings and murals of your cultures, you are laying the foundations of security, really, for a nation and a society. And all of the work that is done in preservation, historical preservation. Remember, there's been many empires, many great cultures. You can talk about the Greeks, you can talk about the Romans, you can talk about the pharaohs of Egypt. You can talk about so much in culture. But a lot of times, because it wasn't preserved in history, those cultures are gone. Because people didn't value them, those cultures are gone. Remnants remain. And you can read about them on the internet, which is a lot different than going to Guahoming, one of last year's winners, and touching the ground. Or being in San Diego and touching those murals and seeing the vibrant colors. You know, this building, where's Casey? Is he in here? Oh, thank you for letting us be in, he's the manager of this Stanford Mansion. What a job, huh? But, I mean, this is also preservation of history, an important part of California history. And so, as I visit parks, we have 280 parks, I think we have like 13,000 historic buildings, is that right? Yeah, in California. More than 15 million artifacts, 5 million artifacts. We have a wonderful storage facility now at McClellan for many of those artifacts. And I invite you all to the grand opening that's going to come December 4th to that, to go and see how we're taking care of bits and pieces of our collective cultural history. So I thank Carol for asking me to come and address all of you, and more than anything, I just wanted to thank everybody who participates in historical preservation, because it is important for our society. You can put all politics aside, this is important for generations to come. So I'm gonna, I take off, I am a long-range commuter. I do live in San Diego County, and I have to get home to my wife because I told her I'd see her occasionally. This is not a deployment to the Middle East, although sometimes I wish I had a helmet and flak jacket in Sacramento. But I don't need a squad of Marines most of the time. But I do have a very able, my chief deputy is here, Aaron Roberson, and he is also, it's amazing, but he's also a Marine and a reserve officer who has done many deployments, but he's also my second in command at California State Parks. and he will be here for the totality of the awards ceremony, won't you?
Sir.
I thought so. But I want you to take glory in this place that we're in, and to take some glory in what you do. It is critical. It is critical for generations to come. And that's a heck of a mark to know that that's what you're preserving and that's what you're passing on. And so thank you all for what you do. And in my own way, I would say au revoir, à bientôt, j'espère. That means goodbye. I'll see you again. At least I hope so soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, General Jackson, and I also would like to acknowledge the presence of Erin Robertson, our Chief Deputy Director, who has also been extremely helpful and supportive. And in case any of you missed it, it was these two Marines who mustered everybody into their seats at the beginning, bringing forward a kind of authority that I was unable to exercise. So, with that, before we begin the presentations, I'd like to take a moment to thank some of the people without whose help this event would not be possible. First of all, I'd like to thank Casey Hayden, the manager of the Stanford Mansion, and all of his staff for making this possible, for welcoming us and making it so easy to do this event here every year. The Stanford Mansion is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It is also a National Historic Landmark and serves the legislature and the governor's office as a venue for important government events and is open to the public to tour. For those of you who have never seen this important historic property, I just want to let you know that at the conclusion of the ceremonies during the reception, there will be a tour available of the house. I also would like to acknowledge the presence of our chair of the State Historic Resources Commission, Julie Colonco. You can stand. Who's graciously come from San Francisco to be with us today. Someone has to do the hard work of preparing for this event, for reviewing and evaluating the many nominations that come to us and determining who are going to be the award recipients for the given year. This year we were very fortunate to have a group of consummate professionals in the historic preservation field. I would like to both recognize and to thank the jury members, which consisted of Meta Bunsen. Meta is a partner in the preservation firm of JRP Consulting in Davis, a long-time and well-respected cultural resource firm that works quite frequently with our office. Melissa Goodrow, AIA, an architect and project manager for the firm of Page and Turnbull. Melissa heads the Sacramento office of the San Francisco-based preservation firm. Ms. Goodrow also serves as chair of the Sacramento Heritage Board, and she is also a member of the Sacramento Housing Code Authority and the Appeals Board. So the final member of our jury is Anne-Marie Medden, the supervising environmental planner at headquarters for the Cultural Division of the Department of Transportation, better known to most of you as Caltrans. Ms. Medden, by academic training, is a historic archaeologist. In addition to her cultural resource day job, Anne-Marie has recently been appointed by Governor Brown to serve as a member of the State Historic Resources Commission. I believe that today's award recipients speak volumes to these women's professional expertise and to their discernment in selecting some truly wonderful preservation projects. I'd also like to thank the staff of the state office who did so much hard work to manage the nomination process, to put together this ceremony, and the reception that follows. Special thanks goes to the Deputy SHPO, Janon Saunders. Janon, you could stand up. Putting this award together and to putting this award ceremony and making it happen. I'd also like to recognize Diane Barkley. Diane, you are someplace at the back of the room. Diane is new to our staff in the last few months, and she has very gamely and very effectively taken a number of responsibilities for the awards since she walked through the door and got slammed with about 8 million things to do. We've been waiting for her for a long time to take her position. Finally, there are 5 major preservation organizations in the state. The California Preservation Foundation, better known as CPF, the Los Angeles Conservancy, the Society for California Archaeology, also known as SCA, Sacramento Old City Association, and the California Historical Society, all of whom provided the financial resources to enable us to hold this event. Collectively, they are the people to thank for the food, the drink, and all that you will enjoy while you're here this afternoon. So, just so everyone knows what will be happening, I had a couple of inquiries like, we've never been here before, what do we do? We will be announcing the award recipients. At that time, if you will come forward, whoever or however many of you will be receiving the award. I will say a few words about the person or the project, and we will have some slides. And then we will ask someone from your group to say a few words. And after that, we will be taking 1 to 2 pictures of the group. So please, as soon as you have, as soon as the slides conclude, don't run back to your seat so that we can record this event. Following the awards, please join us for a reception for coffee and conversation in the mansion billiards room, which is through those double glass doors, where you can not only enjoy coffee and a lot of very good food, you will have a chance to see how the 1% lived in the 1890s. Unfortunately, we won't be providing bourbon and cigars. But if you notice as you enter the room on the left-hand side, there is a lovely historic photograph that demonstrates that not only the gentlemen retired to the billiards room, the Stanford women also played billiards. There's no evidence of cigars, however, in the picture. Following the awards, I'm sorry, I did that already. Now, to get to the real business of the event today. The governor's, I thought maybe there was something else I was supposed to. The Governor's Preservation Award has no formal category for a Lifetime Achievement Award. Although looking at the two first awards today makes me think that perhaps we should create such a category on an annual basis.
The Chicano Park Murals Restoration Project was an opportunity to preserve and enhance 20 outdoor murals that are recognized at the national, state, and local levels as historical, cultural, and socio-political public art. The unique murals are painted on the pillars, approach ramps, and abutments of the iconic San Diego and Coronado Bay's bridge, giving life to the sterile structures that would otherwise dominate the park. The park is distinguished by these 40-year-old murals that depict colorful images of pre-Columbian gods, botanical elements, animal imagery, revolutionary struggles, and spiritual symbolism. Because it was not the typical highway project managed by the California Department of Transportation, or Caltrans, the Mural Restoration Project required innovative thinking and significant community involvement. Caltrans District 11 partnered with the Chicano Park Steering Committee to produce a technical manual to identify the extent of the restoration required for each mural and the methods by which to achieve the desired results. Next, Caltrans contracted with Ghirardelli Associates to provide technical support and project management, but even more importantly, to locate the original artists and prepare agreements by which they could begin restoring the murals. The restoration was a great success. The artists were elated to have the opportunity to restore their work and in some cases complete the work they had started decades before. The collaboration between state, business, and local entities brought about a result of which all could feel proud.
And before we present the plaque or the award to the committee, I would like to have Lourdes Jimenez, who is going to present for Congresswoman, or for Assemblywoman, I am so sorry. I'm sorry, my note here. Thank you. A legislative resolution to the committee.
Hi, I apologize. My name is Maria. This was uphill, so no problem. I have it last minute. I am here on behalf of State Assemblymember Lorena Gonzalez and State Senator Ben Wetzel, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but we'll see you this weekend in the district. And they did prepare a joint members resolution, and I will spare reading the entire thing, but we'll just read the last two paragraphs to the Chicano Steering Committee. Due to their incredible commitment of time and energy to preserving the murals in Chicano Park for future generations to enjoy, the members of the Chicano Park Steering Committee have served as worthy models for all public-spirited people of the state. Now, therefore, be it resolved by Assemblymember Lorena Gonzalez and Senator Ben Wetzel that they congratulate the members of the Chicano Park Steering Committee on their selection as the 2013 Governor's Historic Preservation Award recipient and extend sincere best wishes for continued success in the future.
I'd just like to thank the Office of Historic Preservation for the acknowledgement of this project, and also to thank our partners on this project, who without them, we wouldn't have been able to complete this project. The Chicano Steering Committee, who hung on with us and provided all the assistance we needed. Ghirardelli and Associates, who, after long and hard trying to get their contract ratified, we finally did it. And to the artists, who without them, we wouldn't be talking about this project. Thank you.
On behalf of the Chicano Park Steering Committee, which is an all-volunteer group that has held together for the last 42 going on 43 years, we'd like to thank you.
And as Pi was saying, this project could not have taken place without the help of the artists. And if you do not know where Chicano Park is, it was described to you, it's under the San Diego Coronado Bay Bridge. And it was our efforts to establish a park, even though it went through defiance. So if you ever think about Earth Day, we were creating Chicano Park. So when you think about Earth Day, that was the national launching of Earth Day. But at this point, I would like to invite all of the artists that are here from Northern California that painted and restored these murals to please come up. This is Irma Barbosa. Arturo Singh, who Irma is a very well-known artist, part of the Royal Chicano Air Force. Arturo Singh is a sculpturist, painter, has many Singh, thank you. Wanishi Orozco, who is also a member of the Royal Chicano Air Force. Juan Carrillo, Maceo Montoya, also another local artist, professor at UC Davis. Esteban Villa, who is a co-founder of the World Chicano Artists. Tomas, another local artist, part of the World and the late Jose Montoya's father, and he was also a muralist painting in the park. So there are many more artists that contributed to this project, but these are the artists from Northern California that came to accompany us in accepting this award. Thank you very much. Would not have happened without the help of, in particular, the initiation of Dr. and Marty Rosen with Caltrans, so, and Pi, of course, Salazar. So thank you all very much. So maybe if we could all find a way. There's one artist I didn't introduce.
Joey.
Joey.
Joey and Danny.
I'm sorry, Joey. I didn't recognize Joey. Also, back there, I don't know why he didn't come out, but those are also artists that painted in this new at Chicano Park in the restoration project. Thank you.